Well, we're about to head on through to map number 3. It's Mirage, Runtime versus Prosto. Currently tied up 1-1 in this series. And as we head on in to the great decider, that will, of course, be Mirage. Hugo, we've seen a lot from either one of these two teams. Prosto getting off to a slow start back on Dust. Runtime looking dominant as ever. Then it was a very convincing 12-3 half from Prosto on their map pick of Cash that they were able to close out eventually. Admittedly, it took them a little while. I think it finished, what, 16-10, 16-11. I have the memory of a goldfish. We literally just watched it. And it was just on the screen. But under the pressure, Hugo, I've crumbled. It's like a pie. A pie is crumbly.
I mean, under pressure, and a lot of things crumble. Like,
Yeah.
you know, under the right amount of pressure, I don't think many things stand tall.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, I think. Either way, let's head into this one. Yeah, third map, final map. Loser going to be eliminated here from the minor. Winner going to be going forward to play that decider match of their Group B as well. So still an opportunity to bounce back. But remember, winner of this is going on to face Avangard. Now, if you're Prosto and you take this map and you go on to face Avangard, you got 16-5 by them when you played them the other day. And if you're Runtime, you haven't played them here yet. But you know, that's not an easy game by any means for either of these two teams. Rosters on your screens now. Who are the players you say we should look out for, at least on either side?
Well, my favourite is the addition of Stiko onto Prosto, apparently. So yeah, definitely Stiko. No, for me, I don't think you can argue that over on the side of Runtime, there's really 3 guys you want to be keeping an eye on. That would be Kalinka, Scooby, and Seas. That's like the 3-man fragging core. Over on Prosto, it has to be Yakindar and Flaric for me. They're the 2 that you want to be keeping an eye on. Runtime over on that T side, going to be kickstarting this over here toward the B bomb site, but it doesn't look like it's a B play. Instead, this bomb, 2 players going to head in through lower tunnels. They have Seized over in top mid. He's got a smoke and a Molotov as well, so that could look to go down. Maybe you throw the molly over towards window or smoke off the window, use the Molotov over to help your players clear out connector. You can see Hooch is waiting down at the ramp. He's sitting there with all the utility in the world. He can look to throw that in and block off perhaps CT. But as this push comes out, they managed to get control of the middle. They're already up past the player in window. Ivan falls at the first hurdle. And now just Kenzor in CT. They would have loved to have had the smoke hit this position, but they've made the decision to leave it open. Scooby in with another, and already it's a 5v3 in the post plant for Runtime.
Yeah, Flaric is coming back in from the jungle though, and they haven't spotted him just yet. Yakinda catches a jumping Hooch in the spawn, but still it's looking good for Runtime. A 4-on-2, low HP on these 2 CTs. Even though Yakinda and Kenzor are finding frags, surely this one's not doable. Surely it's not. There's a trade. Yakinda's made this doable. It's a 1-on-1. He's already got 3 kills. Kalinka's got to do the same, and exactly what will happen. 3 for him. The round won by Runtime. It comes down to the wire, and I have no idea how Prosto made it so close. It looked dominant for Runtime.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, that's just Yakinda for you, right? He does have these moments. He just kind of chattels in. He just starts putting up. No, he is, man. He is. That's a good start, at least from him. And also, on the flip side, over on the side of Runtime, great stuff from Kalinka. Both of these 2, who have been the heavyweights of their teams, kind of stepping up early on. And that's a good sign. I think that's going to make for an exciting third map. We saw the first 2 be pretty one-sided. This one, I think, is where we see it go down at the wire. Already, Runtime have control of mid. Prosto, they've gone for the force buy here. If they lose this, not an issue. You buy up in round number 4, you get to have the AWPs, you have all the little bells and whistles, and you also have a great chance of finding something in this round.
Kalinka just made the best trade deal in the history of trade deals. He didn't buy anything, he just kept a USP. Scooby got tagged, and so Scooby gave Kalinka his AK, so they've just swapped, and Kalinka's still got 3K. That's he's truly scammed his teammate there. I
mean, yeah, you just love to see it.
But either way, this is still a pretty dangerous force buy on a map like Mirage. 2 scouts. The Eagles as well got to be good at chipping away, making these targets a little more soft if they don't hit that one shot. Ivan, more damage by the second. This is starting to get a little bit worrying. It may not look over just yet, but these guns are all over the A site. 3 players here, 4 in fact if you count the jungle, and Flaric is finding himself another kill. He's been dropped, but there's 2 in the CT for Kalinka to deal with, and he can't even get past the first man, who's now taking an AK off of the body. Hooch is going to try and chase him down, and running out of ammo is death, but Hooch can't find the kill. He's been jump shot by Ivan. And Prosto will pick up that second round, finding their force buy with a double scout.
Yeah, and important to note, that double scout, it's a bit of a rarity to see in Force Buys, at least with armor on a player. That's only because your Kindle gets 3 frags in the pistol round that he's actually able to buy that. So that makes quite the difference there, because they're able to paint up a lot of damage, right? That's the thing. Normally, just 1 scout is enough in those Force Buys to paint players up, tag them down low, and then you let the pistols do all the damage. Or rather, just finish off the tagged players. The scouts are the things doing all the damage.
Well, not all the damage.
Just the majority.
Yeah, sure. Look at this play from Kalinka. He's just going dry through ramp. He's got teammates behind him, but he's the only man with a rifle, just trying to speed up the pace and already finding that first kill for the T side, trading it back to a 4-on-4, but Yakinda keeps it in check, drops that 1 rifle. Unaccessible right now for Runtime until that smoke goes down and C's can move in to pick it up, but his teammates are falling like flies. Now he's got to worry about the connector. Yakinda coming up from the bottom of the stairs is found. But still, Prosto have that man advantage. Still, they have a very strong position in this one. That's going to make it a little more difficult, though.
Yeah, Scooby just rears his head, peeks in, and digs a man down. Now, Flaric deleting seized and able to go ahead and mop up the remainder for Runtime. So Prosto locking in that second. The bomb goes down here for Runtime, so maybe they're tempted to invest a little bit more, but I don't see them dipping down beneath the $2,000 mark. You want to try and keep the availability to buy up in the next round. You can see them pick up a couple of deagles here. Kalinka, he's sitting on $3,800. He can look to try and save for the AWP in the following round.
Ooh. No. They're trying to keep this going, Harry. They're trying to bounce back with another Force Buy. This is a very dangerous decision. This could allow Prosto to get up to a 4-1 lead if Runtime don't manage to pick it up or do enough damage to justify their next round buy, which again is just easily falling into that rut. But let's see if it works out. 1 Molotov. They don't have a smoke for it. Second rotate already coming into B. Ivan's moving into position. Prosto set up in middle, ready and waiting. And Kenzel, this is a great angle if he sits close and easily able to drop off after just 1 kill, but the flashbangs are coming over. He should be fully blind. He spots them, lines up 2 as well, falls off after the first. Kalinka has actually killed his teammate in the process, and he's going to get avenged for it by his enemy. Right now, things are not looking good for Runtime with his Force Buy, and they can only get worse.
There are only 2 players left starting. Oh, Hoochson seized. Actually, I tell you what, maybe they're with a chance of finding something here. They can at least look to get that bomb down. Def on this flank should be the failsafe. And even if he falls, there's Yakinda here as well. They've doubled up on the flank. They've doubled down. And they might have just won the round. Seized. A 1v3 required. He's over here on short, and he is uncomfortably alone. Def going to go ahead and shut him down. Prosto, 3-1. As they shut down that attempted force from Runtime. Finally, I think this is just whether you have to take it on the chin. You just have to go for the eco over on this T side. And yeah, I mean, you understand why they try and go for the force. They get that previous round so close. It comes down to the 2v2. Had a couple of things got a tiny bit different. Maybe it's in a completely different story. Plus, they still have the entire half left to play with, so it's not like it's the end of the world. The flip side argument to that, though, is if you're force buying that early, you don't really have a feel for like what your opponents are capable of on this map or how they're going to play it. So you see there, they do just kind of run into that B bomb site completely blind in that sense, and they get punished for it.
That being said, it shows they got a bit of confidence at least coming into this map, and it's kind of what we expected, right? Of all maps, Mirage is pretty easy to play with a fairly newish roster, so everyone's going to know exactly what their roles are coming into this. Problem is, pistols for now, 4-1 on the horizon for Prosto before Runtime even have a full buy. We've not even seen that AWP in play just yet for this T side. Yakinda is having a bit of a field day in middle, but there's one trade. Scooby taking down Def, but he can't retrieve the rifle off the body just yet. Starix is still here in middle as well, so Kenzel has to be very careful, but he's not peeking around that corner. Doesn't need to. It's a 4-on-2. Prosto can just play passive. Wait for the enemies to walk into their line of sight, and Ivan's doing exactly that. Takes the kill into Starix. Last man up. Finally has a gun to play with, but also has his back turned. Yakinda peeks at the right time, gets that trade, and he will be able to save the AWP as well. So Prosto, 4-1 as we expected, but here's where the buy comes out for Runtime. They are going to lack the AWP though, unless they want a glass cannon. You can see Kalinka's debating it. Nope.
Yeah, I think justifiably so, right? You kind of look at how a lot of these rounds have gone for Runtime. They like to play very explosive styles thus far. They like to go for these you know, maybe slower defaults in towards the beginning and then just burst in towards a portion of the map. This time they're going to try and take control of mid early on, and here we go, very explosive all the way down through short. They're already up and past these players and connected, but Kenzor catches Kalinka trying to punish. I believe that was Def and Ivan falling back from mid, and already this round has just completely fallen apart for Runtime. They have been bamboozled, and where do they go from here? Probably going to have is, for Runtime, they're just going to kind of sit on their laurels for a bit now. They still have a minute and 10 seconds. There is so much time left on this clock, and so they will just be waiting, kind of hoping maybe that someone from Prosto overextends, but they really don't have to. Yeah,
I like how safe Prosto is playing the situation. They're not even fighting middle. They've just smoked it off and hidden. No need to fight middle when you have a 5-on-2. Runtime have to go to a bomb site, so Prosto just stacked up on both of them. Doesn't matter where they come from. Hooch gonna get caught. Ivan lands a shot with the AWP. Scooby now no utility on his own. And a 1-on-5, probably a 5th round for Prosto if things go to plan. And so far they've looked pretty damn good, aside from the pistol, flawless now. Scooby may even just opt to save, but they have got a big loss bonus coming in. So that's something to play with for Runtime.
Yeah, and I mean, that's been the interesting thing for me is, you know, when we saw Prosto and Dust 2, I think even they would agree, it looked very disjointed. No one was really playing off of each other. Frags frequently went untraded. There wasn't really any solution to what Runtime were putting down range. Not only that, it was problem definitely worsened by the fact that Ivan was having a very, very weak game and Kalinka was absolutely unreal. So you had the AWP on one side of things falling completely silent. Meanwhile, the AWP on Runtime was showing up in a very big way, right? You didn't really have anyone to step up and counteract that. Now that Ivan started to find his footing, now that the team is playing off of each other well, your Kindar, he's had money to be on that secondary AWP. They do have the answers to the problems that Runtime were originally presenting. And since then, you know, Prosto, they've looked very, very clean for the most part. They've been playing off of each other very, very well. You can really see some of that long-standing synergy now starting to shine through as they do, you know, set up flashbangs for one another, set up these crossfires over in mid. They just completely lay waste to Runtime in that round. And now, you know, for Runtime, you're left scratching your head. What can they do? It's back to the drawing board.
And this is something that we were talking about earlier in one of the previous maps, but this is a really must-win game for Prosto. I mean, this is a team that has come 3rd and 4th in the last 2 CIS minors, but just missed out a spot to play, you know, in that major. You know, not to say they can easily get through this group with Avangar up to face next, but you know, they should be winning this game at least. Runtime, they've done a great job of getting here, but you know, Prosto do have more experience as a unit, as you say, at least together. So let's see if this keeps up for the CT side or if Runtime have a response. It's an A execute right now with the bomb. We've got 2 players splitting underpass to connector. See if Kenzor will stay on top of that. He does have a full battle utility to cut off any kind of split, and that Molotov will go towards the underpass. Same as the ramp, it slows down this immediate A burst. 3 players committed to the site. Ivan baiting them in with his first AWP shot. They've got to check on the balcony, but C seems somewhat aware. Doesn't matter. Flarek is still going to hit the shot, and that's the bomb in the open. Oh.
Ooh, they even read that. Okay, that's I mean, Scooby could have been the real fly in the ointment there for Prosto, but they do a great job of nullifying that boost up into window. And that does just leave Hooch and Starix. These two have, you know, usually they are the quieter two within the team. Starix obviously trying to be the leader. Hooch slotting in more into that supporting role, but still, he's been able to open things up. 2-on-4. Bomb still in control of Prosto. It's Flarek up towards Palace. Could be a problem. Hooch is able to delete him. In response, Ivan just going to fall off of CT. Holds a more passive angle, doesn't want to give Hooch that trade and will instead wait for him to tap in the numbers. But Def beats him to it. Prosto, it's not as clean as they would have liked, but they do still manage a 6th round and a team ace at that. Everyone chipping in, pulling their weight. Now a tactical pause called in for Runtime, and I'm not even sure what the solution is to this for them, because you look at it, you look at how they've played a lot of these rounds. It has been very basic CS, right? How deep can your strat book go when you were just originally a mixed team playing in the minor? You know, when you were just, you know, a group of guys showing up, maybe they didn't even anticipate getting this far.
I mean, one of the main issues here as well is they don't even have the money to buy up fully. They've got to go for another one. There's half-buy rounds. We've already seen that Prosto have been very good at dealing with those. Not had a problem. Not been over-facing when they have advantages. Wouldn't be surprised if Runtime set up some kind of B play here, but Prosto have the utility to shut it down, the Molotovs. Only one AWP for now, though, but not really a problem. That's going back towards A, and yeah, already looking like a bit of a B play for Runtime. Prosto with 2 players on the other side, and they will be going again for that fast mid play. This allows for that quick apps flank or quick short flank that we saw last time this happened. So same setup for Prosto and same result for Runtime. Fast play into that site. Hooch is going to get the first kill. Scooby as well, but that bomb's dropped, and as soon as it looks good for Runtime, it starts to fall apart. However, 2-on-2. Bomb, however, still under the control of Prosto for now.
Oh, and sees that Molotov just spreads, forces him out into the open, and you can see Prosto, they are so quick to capitalize on that. Had C stayed alive a little bit longer, could have tried to rotate in through short and rejoin up with Hooch inside of that A bomb site, and then maybe there would have been something possible. It's not meant to be, though. Prosto going to move up 7-1 here on Mirage. Another dominant scoreline from them early on their CT side. Similarly to Cash, we saw that go 7-1 before Runtime are really able to find anything over on that T side.
What I'm learning from here is Prosto should just ban Dust 2 and they'll be fine.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing as well. That's a map that very, very frequently they end up playing. It's one that always ends up slipping through. And I mean, you just look at it, and they don't look like half as good on that map as they do on any of the others that we've seen them play today.
What is this smoke? Is this a one-way? Because that looked very, very purposeful, but very out of position, and Kalinka was holding it. When you throw a smoke like that and you try and abuse it in a one-way, someone's always going to be watching it because they don't know why that smoke is there. Interesting, but it's not going to work out for Def. Either way, Kalinka finding the first kill. Runtime really needed that. They need every entry they can get because it's 7-1 down right now. No response from Prosto, no trade available with that top mid push, but Runtime are ready to burst the top and middle from the T side of things. Kenzel's got to be careful as well when that starts to come down. This window has been smoked. Ivan's been pushed out, and Kenzel's going to decide to back off of short.
And this is really one of the best chances we've seen Runtime of picking up around in a very long time. They've got full control of mid. Don't quite have connector yet. Ivan's still sat in there, peeping on down to keep watch of the mid portion of the map and short, so they can't quite cross into B just yet. The issue they're going to have, 40 seconds. They've got a very massive bit of real estate in the middle of the map, but they have to do something with it. They have to do something with all this ground they've been able to get. They're going to try and hit this A bomb site, and that is the most stacked of the two. 3 players here. One of those is going to be Ivan on that AWP over towards jungle. The other, Blaric, down here around, tries to go aggressive. He's going to fall a little bit short, but the rest of his teammates, they're showing up at least. Yakinda are even raining down death from short, now takes up position in mid, and he might just be able to spot this player on stairs. He hears Starix fall down into the sandwich. There's only 7 seconds left here, so they have to get that bomb down, and they do, just in the nick of time.
Oh, but the AWP shot will be finished off. Kenzo even lands a kill to Kalinka, and now Starks is going to try and get aggressive, but to his own demise. Yakinda's already on the angle, and well, Prosto will get that retake and defuse in without too much of a problem. Looked like the Molotov could have even stopped the plant at that point as well, which was a bit terrifying. But an 8-1 scoreline, an 8-round streak from Prosto, and boy, do they look good on this CT side. The pistol came down to the 1v1, and since then they haven't even lost a round. What do you do here if you're Runtime? I mean, the main issue is every time they've gone A, Prosto have always had a minimum of 3 players there every single time. So, you know, if Runtime are going to be continually hitting this A site, they need to throw in maybe some sort of fake towards B, or maybe just completely switch it up, turn this mid control into a cat play up towards B short. Have not seen that just yet. Their only B plays have been on those force buys that have been far from perfect. They've got some close situations, but not quite the victories. Again, a mid-take from Runtime, looking very, very, you know, well drilled at least. And they will go up towards Catwalk, so it's going to be that B split after all.
Yeah, but already Yakinda's grey star scoreboard. Kalinka answers back as best he can. They're not, however, ready for Kenzo. Frax just raiding in. Yakinda doing the damage.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you keep that gun out.
I mean, this is the thing, right? For Runtime, a lot of the strategy they've tried to run at this point in time has just been very, very basic. You don't really have a big strat book in that sense. It has just been kind of these executes, these set pieces. And Prosto, a team that's clearly very well drilled. They know all this as well. You can't really afford to just keep running them into this sort of team.
Yeah, this is just when you have the experience of going, okay, when they do this, do this.
Yeah.
And Prosto know what to do when they lose mid-control, when they lose short control, when they lose connector.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at it, right, like a lot of this, like the A side stack, for example, or sorry, the A smoke setup, that's one of the most basic things. I'd say most matchmaking players know how to throw those smokes, right?
I don't even know how to throw those smokes.
Okay, well then never mind. Maybe I'm giving you a little bit too much credit there.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh. And yeah, I mean, 10 seconds after the shot, runtime, they've got no chance. They're just holding on to the AWP and the AK.
But when you're doing it at an A1 scoreline, that's when desperation really is hitting. You know, you're starting to realize that maybe you're a little bit, you know,
out of your depth in a sense, right? Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's going to be on Runtime's mind.
Prosto even calling the tactical pause at 9-1. Fair enough. That round wasn't perfect for them either. Obviously, some casualties along the way, but I like it. You know,
well, I think
use of them.
I think for me, the thing I like to see a little bit more is, you know, Runtime, they frequently use Seized as like this lurk play. You've probably noticed he's normally the guy who's kind of apart from the squad. Haven't really seen too much of him doing that here on Mirage, but I always think he has some pretty decent impact whenever he's doing it. I'd like to see them maybe try and play off that a bit, maybe try and set up a couple of fake executes by using Seized to get the attention of Prosto. The issue is there hasn't really been any openers found for Runtime.
One great example is like you can use Sergey or Rops on in their own teams. Two very strong Mirage teams, that being Mousesports Nets. Obviously, let's not remember yesterday, but at least for Mousesports side,
we try to forget.
But you know, like if you watch Ents play Mirage, what they'll do is they'll go, okay, Sergey go Palace, and he'll go Palace every round on the T side, pretty much every single round, no matter what they're doing. B, A, mid, Sergey will be in Palace, and he'll still top frag. You know, he's always on his own. He's always doing his own thing, you know, somewhat related to the team, but either catching rotations or finding entries. You know, I think Palace is such a good position to just throw your lurk player in on this map. And you can play that almost every round and a half and still come out on top. It's such a good spot for a terrorist to play. And common for CTs to try and take control as well when they get aggressive down on A. So,
well, this round, they actually have gone ahead and separated Siege from the rest of the squad. They've left him over in mid, but he's not able to find anything. And armed with only that AWP, no smoke down either. He's not too keen on crossing. Probably doesn't, you know, you don't really want to be lurking with the AWP. Definitely not ideal. So he makes the decision just to rejoin the rest of his squad. And they're likely going to try and use that to open things up here inside of this A-bomb site. Spy down some of these long angles. Try and go toe-to-toe versus Ivan, who's down in CT spawn right now. Crucially, no smokes and not a single Molotov up on Runtime means that this player under Palace, Flaric, could do a boatload of damage here as they start to push on in. They've got no way of dealing with him. So here's the first man. They are able to trade it.
Ooh.
Death now from jungle, shutting down a little bit more, and it's Ivan to throw down the gauntlet from CT.
and that's been the biggest turnaround. Like we've already mentioned it, but you can't forget it. Ivan, who was absolutely non-existent on Dust 2 for the entire map pretty much, and he has just been the MVP for me, for his entire team, you know, for the last two maps. For this map, for Cash as well, he's been such a key fragger for the team. So obviously shutting down Kalinka is a big aspect of that, the star of Dust 2 especially. And the AWP player, the main one of that for Runtime. So very important role that Ivan is being able to do. And Prosto up to 10-1 here. Another tactical pause from Runtime. 2 of the 4 have been used now this map for both teams. But boy, Runtime have not got any solutions so far. They are still yet to get around since that pistol. 4 left of the half. If there was any time to find some, it would be now. Well, it would have been 10 rounds ago, but now would do.
Yeah, I mean, there's no time like the present. That's the saying, I think. Kalinka. Yeah, with his dig, looking to try and find something down through mid. Ivan switching things up. Usually deep within CT is where he can be found, but now he takes the fight in mid. Doing a good job of keeping mobile, keeping Runtime guessing. So they've already lost Scooby, and I believe that was one of the rifles dropped. Now retrieved by Seized. And looking to try and boost the player up in towards window. They send Seized up, and He does have the most firepower, but it's a bit of a double-edged sword because as you're going to see, that AK, that dropped up into window, so actually up on a short, he got shot all the way over.
Wow.
Kalinka is good for one more, and now Hooch emerging from the pass, but this bomb is still a long way from either one of these bomb sites. Wherever it does decide to go, Runtime have to hold this site down for a very long time, and they're going to attempt to rotate around here towards A. Hooch is just sitting pretty inside of the bomb site right now.
You see, he doesn't want to push as well because he knows the Pro Star are aware they've given up this A bomb site, but he doesn't know where they're watching. They're watching both jungle and CT, playing passive. Hooch will eventually push back in, and he does go down, so now it's just Kalinka, but at least he has this bomb plant up for the taking. Pro Star have no problem with giving this away. They'd rather just win the round in a 3-on-1, get this clean retake. They don't care about the money of Runtime. They've been dealing with the buy rounds pretty easily. Kalinka might be able to get a kill here, but surely not win this round. This is a little bit too much to ask for. Flash over the top and the triple peak coming through. He missed his opportunity for the element of surprise, but he will bounce back with one single kill. However, that's still a Pro Sto round. Unsurprising, we've been saying it all game pretty much. It's 11-1. Bomb plant does make a very big difference, though, for the buy over on Runtime.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, not just in terms of utility on a few of the players who might have been a bit strapped, but I mean, even on the guys who didn't have any cash thanks to the investment in the round prior, Seized and Scooby, they are able to invest on the back of it. Double AWP still in play here for Prosto. One of those going to be on the back of Ivan, as we've come to expect. He's taking a look down through mid. Last time, he took the fight out from connector. This time, he takes an early position in window. Gives it up initially, now he's back at the connector. And Seized would have heard that scope on in, so they have a bit of an idea where the AWPer is at least for Prosto right now. All these tiny little snippets of information being used to try and paint a picture of where this Prosto defense is. Seized. Kindar out here on short, but he gets tagged and finished off by the Molotov. So a little helping hand there for you, Kindar. Flarich all the way down at ramp. That's the bomb dropped, and that is a boatload of information gained for Prosto.
Trades there, but there's a second player down on ramp. Is Scooby ready for it? Absolutely not a chance. Def's going to get him blindsided. Starrick's now the last man left alive, and not for long. He'll be sent packing as well. It's another round for Prosto without too much of a hassle. Only one casualty. That casualty was after one of the few aggressive plays you've even seen from Prosto. Think about it. They've just not thrown in any aggression. The only aggression I can think of at the top of my head is the couple of rounds where they set up heavy in mid, the underpass peak with the AWP from Ivan a few rounds ago, and that ramp push. Other than that, they've not challenged Palace. They've not pushed B Apartments at all to go for a big flank. And it's been working wonderfully. Runtime have been waiting for these picks, but not gifted to them. Now they're going to be gifting their own picks away to Prosto already. Scooby getting picked up, and Ivan will double it down, eventually traded, but there's still so many CTs here. They've had 3 players every single round, and the crossfires again being a nuisance. Not expecting Flaric, despite playing this position every round this half pretty much. Finally, Hooch will rid him of that, but this bomb is yet to be picked up.
And sadly, it's never going to get picked up. It's never going to get to go down, and that will be a 13th round for Prosto over on this CT side. I mean, this is just unreal. 13-1, a potential of 14-1 half. And from that, I mean, I'm saying from that point, from a little while ago, it feels like Runtime have been pretty out of this game.
Yeah.
You can definitely kind of see the cloud has started to descend over this team in that sense. And they have looked at a shadow of their former selves, thinking back to their performance on Dust, and even Cash, really, in the latter stages of that game. Just going to be an ace set piece once again, as simple as it gets. Prosto already rotating players around, and Ivan securing the opening frag onto CIS. Mirage waits in the sandwich, and he's going to be getting his filly here. Actually, Hooch is able to trade him out, but Def's gone through that smoke from the jungle, shuts down 2, and only Scooby remains. A 1v3 required here. The bomb's down and out in the open. Orps on every angle, homing it down, but it's Kenzor to cement it. 14-1 here at the end of the first half. Prosta looking fantastic. 2 rounds is all that separates them from knocking out Runtime and securing their chance to go ahead and keep on playing. They have to play versus Avangar, I believe, in the next portion of this. We'll be back anyway with the second half after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, HyperX, Betway, and Pay Safeguard.
Well, it's been complete and utter domination here on Mirage from Prosta over here on their CT side. Moving into the T side now. They've got 14 rounds to their name. Runtime, they are scraping by with 1. To say they need the pistol round is an understatement here in Mirage. Map number 3, the big decider. 1-on-1 in the series right now. Prosta going to try and kickstart this. By the looks of things, just with a fast B player. Simple as it gets.
Oh, CIS already knows though. Look at this rotation. Everyone is on the move. Everyone is on the run back to this B site, but these Ts are swarming it like flies. 2 kills already coming through for the likes of the T side, and the bomb is down as well. This is going to make things very difficult, but a nice frag from Scooby at least puts it in the 3-on-3 for the retake, and there we go from Starix.
There's shots from Ivan as well, and Starix going to go to double back round. Now it does just fall onto Def. 1v3, not meant to be. RuntimeGG will be fighting themselves the pistol around here, so they take a second round. But as you recall, Hugo, actually this means that... What, are they flawless for pistols still?
Yes.
Yeah, so throughout the entire series.
Oh, do you mean
I thought, yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. Well, anyway, here on Mirage they are. They only have 2 rounds and they're flawless.
They were on
pistols,
Dust.
So,
they got both on Dust. But I'm not sure about Cash. I wouldn't want to say that for sure. Either way, they're flawless pistols here.
Yeah.
2 out
and
of
that's
2.
saying something when you've got 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Over on the side of Prosta, they play it safe this time around. They just go ahead and take the eco. They got themselves the bomb plant. They could buy up in the next. They've got so much room to maneuver here. Runtime a very long way away from making this comeback happen, so you certainly are not shy on breathing room Yakinda are even going to go in and dig down Starix. That's got the attention of Runtime. These rotations come in and seized. He's been spotted. His little elbow goes a little bit too far around the corner, and he takes one to the dome as a result. These rotations still yet to come in, and Scooby looked a little bit tempted, but decides against it. Might be the right call to make. The bomb still could have hit B. That was their main worry. It looked like that could have been the initial idea from Ivan, but instead, he's caught a man down by Connector. That's Kalinka getting dealt with now as well. Suddenly, only Hooch is left here at A, but he does manage to win the fight onto Yakinda. So it's Ivan in a 1v2, a CZ, a bomb, and a dream. He's going to try and find his answers inside of the B bomb site.
Even if they lose, this is still a huge round for Prosto. They managed to find 3 kills with no armor, only pistols on this round. Scooby's going to be ready for this push, and maybe a bomb plant would have been a better decision, but didn't know if that B site was empty or not. Either way, damn good eco if you ask me. Runtime just clinching it with 2 players left alive. Now it is going to be that full buy from Prosto. They've got everything they need apart from that AWP, but not a big worry. That being said, Caesar's already pulled his in early into this half. Going to be throwing that over to Kalinka as well. So do you have that main AWP in play here for Runtime? Could be a problem over in the middle if he does decide to go there, and that seems to be the case as well. Scooby already trying to fight the Connector. There's a lot of mid control right now for Runtime. They've got 3 players actually trying to keep these T's out. Scooby almost shoots his teammate, but he will try and find Ivan, who's actually managed to take down Hooch early on. Yakinda has taken advantage of this triple mid setup by rushing A, and boy, has he found results. 2 frags immediately. They definitely won't know that Scooby's here, but surely a trade is available after 1. They've lost the A site. This is all under the control of Prosto, and Yakinda's not done just yet. He's on a 3rd. Prosto, just like that, 15 rounds on the horizon, and Caesar's too far away to stop it.
Honestly, if you ever wonder why they call him the Yakinda egg, it's because he's full of surprises, Hugo. He is just incredible. Him and Ivan top of the board, 128 ADR on Ivan, 123 ADR on Yakinda, and 45 kills between them. Oh my goodness. These two, they want Prosto to go ahead and lock in that slot to face Avangard. I was trying to think when that would be, and I've really put myself on blast here, so
it won't
I'll
be
just gloss over that.
Today, it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah. We like to give him a rest.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, well.
We'll go with that.
I'm sure. Yeah,
yeah, because yeah. We got so many games to cover for these 2 weeks. We got basically like 8 best of 3s today. We'll find. No, actually, no. It is today.
It is today. Yeah, definitely. Right, now
ignore us, guys.
So it's 15-3. That's the main message here. Prosto, they're looking utterly incredible. They're at match and series point and on the cusp of sending Runtime home.
I'm glad we both had that realization at the exact same time, right?
Well, when Starix originally entered this team into the minor, it was called Under Pressure, and they are certainly under pressure now. They only have 3 rounds here on their CT side of Mirage, but Hooch, he's been able to open things up in this round. Immediately returned by Ivan, though, and he's going to keep on pushing down 3 short, keeps applying this pressure. The rotations are in, and they line up. Starix is able to trade, but he's been brought down to his knees, and it's only seized in a 1v3. What could he do? They line up for him. Not quite. Gonna try and take the fight inside of the site, and he's managed himself 1, now into the 1v2, and this is still possible. Minute and 10 seconds left on the clock, so Prosto aren't shy on time. Sees does have a kit and a smoke to try and work with. Might try and isolate this fight. That's the bomb dropped, but Kenzor trades, and 16-3 will be the final score here as Prosto take this series in a 2-1 fashion. It might have been a dominant Runtime victory back on Dust, but we are a long way from there now. The last 2 maps go the way of Prosto, pretty convincingly so.